And so we are not ones to say yes or no or do or don't. Okay? But when we look at religion, it is about our faith. It's about what we believe, how we worship. That's a bring belief. That's what religion is. So with this exercise, what I want you to do is I want you to look at religion as it is. Religion at the base of it. Think about it. Think about what religion means to you. Your religion, your faith, your belief. What does it mean to you? Now, as you're doing that, see, we're going to tie in intimacy. How we're going to get to what we want. And then what we want to do is break down all the walls that we've allowed for our religion to keep us from moving forward when it comes to intimacy. Because if we take lessons that we learn about certain behaviors that we're supposed to do or not supposed to do outside of committed relationships, okay? But we take those behaviors into our committed relationships. Most women never separate them. So certain perceived ideas that they have about intimacy, about sex in particular, they do not separate them from being single to our marriages, into our committed relationships, and we don't do them either. We don't share those desires with our mate. So now it's like everybody's just, okay, don't get any videos. Yeah. Don't use those books. Yes. Amen. No. And that is it. Boom. You just hit it on the head. We've been brought up to believe that the adult stores, the adult books, the adult movies are so bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. But regardless of whatever religion you participate in, it doesn't matter. They all teach that the bedroom for a man and wife is sacred. So that means, in my understanding, some people may disagree, and that is fine. But in my understanding, what that tells me is that I am supposed to be able to experience everything that I can humanly possibly experience with my mate. Because God said so. But somehow we, as women, we have lost that. We've detached from it. We don't take the time to take care of ourselves because we're always running, trying to take care of everybody else. So we're never ready. We're always tired. Okay, hurry up now. We don't talk. We don't explain. Not even to ourselves. So that's why I always say intimacy. Into me, I say I want to see me. I want to know what's going on with me. Then I can share that with you. Then when you're in that sacred space with your mate, there is no limit, as it shouldn't be. So now with the religion, we looked at what it means for yourself or with others. Just think about that. Think about those limits, those blocks, those things that when you try to go to share, you bring up some verse or some lesson that someone taught, and because it may not have been properly explained, now it's become a part of your world and it's hindering you. So think about that. If you have any thoughts, what do you think? Name one. What's your religion that you think is that's blocking you when it comes to intimacy?
A possible intimate position.
we say position, we mean physical position.
Intimate position.
Okay.
To individuals.
Okay. Okay. So now we know, so we write that down, so you know that that's something that you need to dig a little deeper into, and to see why, or how did that piece, how did your religion begin to make you think that way? You know, because then, once you recognize it, then you can change it. Okay? So that's what we want to do. We want to, as we move through these little pieces, we want to write them down, so that we can go back and create a plan on how to change it. So now, we're actually moving into exercise 4. Okay? Now I want you to prepare yourself, prepare your mind, because this is where you get ready to really start to expand. So I want your mind to kind of open up. And if you have any questions, ask us, because that's what I'm here for. That's what we want to do. We want to get to it. So when you look at religion and intimacy, and we're going to put them together. So we come to see that it's important to have a healthy balance when it comes to religion, spirituality, and intimacy. There has to be a healthy balance, because the way we are created, we operate in each of those. Okay? So a lot of times, a lot of women that I talk to, I explain to them when it comes to intimacy, especially on the physical side, if you take a look at the woman's body, okay, you will find that she has more places on her body that require stimulation. So if you take that and you understand what that really means, that means that, oh, I'm supposed to be enjoying all this stuff too. Because in retrospect, I have more things to work with. Okay? I got more things to work with. Well, you don't have to search for them. They're there. They're right there in your face. Let's figure it out. And we have to be comfortable enough to figure it out. And one of the things that I tell women all the time is that the first thing you have to do is get comfortable with you. You have to know this in order to be able to share that information with somebody else. You can't expect your mate to know how to talk to you. You get to a point to where the two of you are no longer taking showers together, then that's a problem. That signifies a disconnect. You know, find those things, those pieces within your relationship that are those triggers. Because that's important. And we discuss the baggage of our religion and intimacy. Because you think about it. What does she mean, baggage? I mean, you know, my religion is my religion, my faith is my faith, I believe. You know, I'm just living, I'm just happy, I want to go ahead. Got it. We all do. But what parts of those that you have rights to in this life, that the Creator has literally entitled you to, that you are denying yourself because of all of this? What is it? You know, the way we dress, whether or not we wear makeup, whether or not, you know, the way we wear our hair, even the way for those of us who wear head wraps, the way we wrap our hair. You know, some people are uncomfortable with wearing something big and beautiful when it comes to a head wrap. It just needs to be tucked in and stuff. Because they think that that's how the religion says that it's supposed to be. you know, or if I'm required to wear a long skirt, which is fine, but that doesn't mean the long skirt has to be dirty on the bottom and old. It doesn't mean that at all. If you check your history, all the major players as it pertains to women, all the major players, those women were beasts when it came to taking care of this body. They were beasts. They took their milk baths. They made sure that they had the best of oils. They made sure that they took the time to use those things. We need to get back to that. That is the biggest, that hopefully at the end of all of this will be the biggest understanding, is that it is okay. Not only is it okay, but as a woman, it's literally a requirement, especially mine. Because as I read all the different books, I'm like, oh, she did that. Oh, you can do that? Yes, you can. Check. You don't have to just take what I say. Check the history. Check the books you've been reading. Check. So think about that. Think about that. And also, this piece, we also want to bring out with knowing how intimacy relates to our religion, relates to spirituality, physical. As we pull those together, we pull out the baggage so that we can flow freely through all of those. That's what we want to do. We want to pull out the baggage so we can move freely through those. And try not to have, because like I said, you have to know this. Okay, so if we're moving through the process of religion and intimacy, so what are we looking at? We're looking at how to keep ourselves balanced in our faith and balanced when it comes to intimacy. And as we go along, we'll go through all the different levels, the different types, as they pertain to different pieces of relationships. We'll cover that. But as I keep saying over, if you listen, you hear me say over and over, we have to know this. And a lot of women are always asking, well, what do you mean know this? Well, you have to know what it feels like, what is required. You know, you can, if you want to use an extreme example, do you like being pinched? Do you like being rubbed? Okay? Do you like someone messing with your ear? What does that do? You know, for some people, that is a stimuli for them. So everybody can't play with their ear. You're not in that space, right? You're not allowed.